welcome to Inside Politics. My name is Anastasiya Lavrina, and today I'm here in Somalia, in Mogadishu. Now I'm joined by a very distinguished guest, His Excellency Hassan Moallin Mohamud, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Federal Government of Somalia. Warm welcome to Inside Politics.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to sit with you and have an interview with you.
Thank you very much. It's a big honor for us to be here in such a very important time for Somalia, for the region itself. And I would like to start with a very important question that is now on the agenda of the whole international and local media. Just recently, December 26, Israel recognized Somaliland as an independent state, the first country in the world from the whole history. And of course, there were a lot of, I would say, discussion here in Mogadishu also on the current situation. And I would like to know your opinion from a constitutional perspective. How does the Somalia legally interpret this Israel's recognition of Somaliland? What kind of consequences it may have for a country and for the region itself?
Thank you very much. Insight and I'm glad that you are here in Somalia and you're witnessing Somalia. How is it recovering from conflict for the past 3 decades? Yes, we regret that it's unfortunate that the state of Israel has announced it has recognized part of Somalia called Somaliland. And that is considered in international law as an intervention in the internal affairs of a sovereign nation state. That is contrary to international law and international norms. It jeopardizes international peace and security. It sets a dangerous precedent in the whole world. And one state, maybe this could be a departure from what we know, how states behave and practice. And one state can come to the decision of recognizing a part of another country. And that is a dangerous precedent. So that is illegal, unlawful, and we consider that as an act of aggression against our sovereignty, political independence, and territorial integrity of Somalia.
Well, indeed, Mr. Minister, Somaliland, in accordance with the international law, is a part of Somalia. And according to the United Nations Charter and the standards. And immediately since the time Israel recognized part of Somalia that's called Somaliland as an independent state, there were a lot of outcomes and consequences. Many countries already expressed full support to Somalia, including Azerbaijan. I will say the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Azerbaijan also made a statement on recent developments and reiterates its full support for the sovereignty, unity and territorial integrity of the Federal Republic of Somalia.
Yes, as you said, so many countries have reaffirmed and expressed their support for the territorial integrity and unity and the political independence of the Federal Republic of Somalia. One of them, as you said, the Foreign Ministry of Azerbaijan, which we are very pleased to hear that they have made and expressed themselves to reaffirm their support for the territorial integrity of Somalia. And that itself, that's why we have the international system. That's according to the United Nations Charter. That's the only way you can keep and maintain peace and security in the international affairs. And I think Somalia rejects vehemently and strongly the announcement made by Prime Minister Netanyahu and whether that has been something which they can retract, and we would advise them to do so. Somalia has enough of interventions in the past. We have our own domestic and problems enough on our plate already. So we demand and ask the government of Israel to desist and stop interfering in our affairs.
Mr. Minister, about the red lines Somalia has, what are the consequences if there is nothing happen, if Israel still continue to recognize Somaliland as an independent state? Where is the red line?
The consequences is even unpredictable, because this was something unprecedented, and it is it's a huge challenge for not only for Somalia but for the region, the greater Horn of Africa region, which Somalia is a part of. And Somalia is already facing security threats from groups like Al-Shabaab, and they are very active and they operate in the region. While countries and states may cooperate on how to combat international terrorism, I think the move by Israel would help the terrorists, because that will create the conditions necessary for them. Because the conflict is already subsiding in Somalia, the people of Somalia have reconciled along, and the peace processes have proceeded and advanced now, and this will exacerbate the situation and will aggravate the conditions in that part of Somalia. They have been enjoying a relative peace compared to the rest of Somalia, but this intervention regrettably may create some unnecessary conflicts, which may exacerbate, because the communities there have been living peacefully side by side for the past 30 years. There have been outbursts and some isolated incidents which happen here and there, but largely it was peaceful. But I'm afraid we don't know what's going to happen if states use proxy forces in other parts of the world, and that may draw other forces to join. Some of them, they have the nature of terrorists, criminal gangs, and so that in itself is a setback to the peace efforts the government of Somalia was trying to make.
By the way, Mr. Minister, that was one of my key questions on the agenda. The terrorist groups, Al-Shabaab. In the recent years, we could see that Somalia was able to liberate significant parts of its territory from the terroristic groups and promote peace and stability among the population. But how does the justice system function while the country continues to face such kind of threat as the terroristic group Al-Shabaab, which is still active in some parts of Somalia?
Now, Somalia faces security threats, as I said earlier. Parts of where conflicts or security issues exist, the justice system functions in a unique and specific way that's adapted to the conditions that existed. The justice system combines both the formal and the informal justice system, or what other people call alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, that is based on community-centered approaches, where the traditional elders and the religious leaders are involved to resolve issues of, in some cases where they are able to do, And it combines the formal justice system, whereby some of the cases are relate to cases like murder or rape or gross violations of human rights. So these cases are referred to the courts, the formal justice system. So it works both at the bottom level and at the top tier. So it's a combination of the traditional, religious, and the formal courts are all involved.
But does it mean that Somalia also cooperate with international legal bodies on justice and accountability? If yes, then which bodies are involved?
Yes, Somalia, in the 3 years I was the Minister of Justice, Somalia has signed so many international judicial cooperation agreements with other countries. And the one we had with Turkey, now is at the parliament. It's about to approve it. Some are bilateral with other countries. Somalia has already introduced a bill which is called the Judicial Cooperation Bill, International Judicial Cooperation Bill, which is designed to have a cooperation and a mutual legal assistance between countries. Somalia also is part and a member of so many United Nations conventions. Some of them are against the what we call transnational crimes like smuggling, other criminal activities. So Somalia is already a member of that, and we are a state member of so many other agreements, like what we call the corruption, transnational border issues. Somalia is part of that. So because Somalia at the moment, we need to have these legal instruments, international legal instruments with many countries, so that by those who commit crimes here or anywhere else cannot get away with crimes. They will be brought to justice, and legally the countries will cooperate along those lines.
And if I'm not mistaken, Somalia is a federal state with regional administrations. How do you ensure the legal consistency across the country?
Yes, legal consistency exists because of, as I said, although there are plurality of legal systems, you may say, you have in Somalia the Islamic, you have the traditional rules and laws, you have the formal justice system. All these, they operate and function side by side. And I think since the collapse of the state, justice has not been a top-down approach. It has been a bottom-up approach from the people-centered approach, which has been operating effectively and efficiently. And there are areas where the state may not have authority far beyond the control of the government, and those areas, there are areas where are recently liberated or recovered areas where the traditional elders operate. So it's a mix and a match of many forms of legal measures. Yes.
Talking about the justice system and its availability for the whole population, being here in Mogadishu, we also could see some IDPs families. How is the justice system reaching the internally displaced people living outside formal urban centers?
Yes, there are challenges that is related to the internally displaced people, and because there are accessibility issues. There are no fixed addresses for them. There are land disputes and issues involved. So what we have done was to have a combine both at the community level, the religious and the traditional elders, and the formal justice system. Many of these people are not, they don't have national IDs. So currently they are taken up and national IDs are being issued and introduced for them. But currently the justice system is working in a very unique and specific way for the internally displaced people. ADR is effective and working there. Alternative dispute resolution mechanisms are working there. And also the elders, they play a role. And we have built community centers for them, where the different segments of society, they come together and have a say in how some of the issues are resolved. So, and some of the cases which need the formal justice system are referred to the courts, where I said if a murder, rape, if they are involved, the cases are referred to the formal justice system. So, and for us at the moment, and because now it's the legal system, we want to be generated by the people themselves. The state, most of the time, it will take a long time for the state to intervene and take action. So the community itself has been equipped to respond effectively and faster than the normal formal justice systems.
Also on the agenda is a way of trilateral cooperation, Somalia, Azerbaijan, and Turkey. From your own background and your own experience, where do you see the potential for the future cooperation?
Yes, and I really see a potential there for the relationship between the two countries, and the way in which the agreements and the relationship has moved very fast. It has started quite recently, but it has made a considerable progress so far. And the way the government of Azerbaijan was very welcoming of Somalia, and I think the potential not only exists of the cooperation along some of those areas, but what I can see is Somalia may benefit what we call the transfer of knowledge, where Somalia would be able to gain knowledge through that collaboration between the two countries. The industries, some of our delegations, they have visited, they have witnessed so many new innovative and ways of generating productivity in Somalia. And yes, we have been, for a very long time, we have been isolated. So the opening up of these new frontiers for Somalia, we will gain new insights on how we develop Somali's sectors like the agriculture, fisheries, arms, to produce arms, manufacturing, energy, which is abundant here if we have the knowledge and the technology we have. So I can see a potential there, and I really appreciate in the way in which the government and the people of Azerbaijan, they have opened their doors and their gates for our leaders to visit and see what is going on in your country. So by seeing, and we know where we stand, and we'll know what we can benefit, what will be mutually beneficial for both countries.
Well, indeed, Mr. Minister, thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. And I would like to remind our viewers that you watched Inside Politics this time from here. Today we are in Mogadishu, Somalia, and we were joined by a very distinguished guest, His Excellency Hassan Moallin Mohamud, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Federal Government of Somalia. My name is Anastasiya Lavrina. Do stay with A News and see you soon.